Welcome, everyone. My name is Frank Felice, and I'm from Sisu. At Sisu, we provide accountability coaching software solutions to real estate sales professionals. Whether you're an individual agent or whether you are part of a larger team or part of a larger brokerage, whether you are a broker owner or a sales manager, even an individual real estate coach, or if you work in a larger organization and you're a real estate organization and you're responsible for operations or coaching itself, the products that we develop are really designed to increase engagement, competition, and ultimately increase the performance of the overall organization, sales performance, or even the individual agent. But today, what we're going to show you is if you have already downloaded the product from the App Store, whether iOS or Google or Android, and you want to know more about it, or you're evaluating it, or it's been purchased for you as part of your team or brokerage, the goal of today is to give you just a really good overview of how to use the product and what it does. And one of our products, the Sisu Pro mobile solution. In addition to the Sisu Pro product that we provide, it works in conjunction with the Sisu Team platform, which allows for dashboard and leaderboard visualizations either on your monitor, or typically, larger agencies or even smaller teams will have it displayed on a large TV monitor. But today we're going to focus really just on the mobile product, the Sisu Pro mobile product. Before we get into it, I want to give you a little backstory on how we came to work in real estate industry, providing technology solutions. Our founders began working with hundreds of real estate sales professionals, many different brokerages, in order to increase their engagement, provide technology solutions for them, but essentially always focused on how do we get the most out of our resources, how do we increase the productivity of individual users, which would ultimately benefit the organizations that they work for. Interesting findings, many of you may be aware of it, many of you are not. But what we found is the best in the industry, the best and the brightest, the hardest working ones were doing something that others weren't. In any industry that you look at, you always want to talk to the elite. 90% of real estate GCI is essentially made by 10% of those agents. So that's an astonishing figure, but what are those 10%? What are they doing that the 90% are not doing? So as we started, these sales professionals do, and the smart real estate agents do, is they track every number. They know that if they want to make $300,000 this year, they need to make so many contacts per day. They know that they're going to convert so many of those contacts into appointments, and a percentage of those appointments are going to turn into buyer brokers that get signed or listings taken that will eventually lead to a number of closings based on an average transaction size and their commission rates. They will make that much per year. They know their conversion ratios. Simple as that. But when we started working with these organizations, what we found is many of them were working with real estate coaches that provide amazing services to them, but what they don't provide is a nice solution, a technical solution, that would allow for them to get this information back to the coaches or track it. Many of them were doing it on paper, tracking it, tallying it every day. Some were doing it in an Excel spreadsheet and emailing it back and forth. Some of them were using some, let's say, poorly designed apps that really weren't aesthetic enough to really generate continued adoption. So as a result, we developed the Sisu Team and the Sisu Pro application to work in conjunction, and that's what we're going to show you today. Whether you've received your login credentials from your Sisu Team administrator, or you've downloaded, or you have it on your own because you've downloaded it from the app, you're an individual agent, you can go ahead and enter in your login credentials in order to start getting your Sisu mobile product set up. So I'm going to use just a sample account, a demo account, and we'll walk you through some of the features. The first screen you're going to see is your scoreboard, which is essentially just how well are you performing, either daily or the entire year. So that really kind of gives you a look into the future as far as your gross commissionable income at any given point right on the screen. But before we go and spend a lot of time on the scoreboard and some of the reporting capabilities, let's walk through of how you actually got there when you first started setting everything up. First thing I'm going to do is up to the upper right of your screen, you can see the Sisu icon or pictogram. If you click on that with your finger, it will bring you to your setup location. And we're going to kind of just go quickly through some of these menu items and kind of give you an overview of what it does. The power of the Sisu application is the ability to share your data with accountability buddies, with mentor groups, or your real estate coach. So if somebody is sharing with you, this is where you'll see all the invites in this location. The profile is where you'll really start getting everything set up. You'll fill out your desired income, obviously contact information, your name, phone number, and then the reason why you're actually tracking your goals, whether it's for a bigger house or financial freedom or toys, just a great location to kind of always keep it point of mind. Notifications is where you will receive, where you can kind of determine whether you want push notifications to pop up, whether you want them as a daily reminder, and the time in which you want them. These might be just to track, hey, it's time to track your numbers, you need to track your numbers, or some that we might send to you throughout based on your profile as far as your contacts, your conversion ratio is a little low between contacts and appointments. Do you need to work on your scripts? Just some really good technical coaching information. But this is the location if you want to turn those off or change your reminder time. What to record? In addition to the basic sales metric tracking information that many real estate coaches will have you track, you also have the ability to track number of dials, prepared competitive market analysis, thank you cards, open houses, referrals, additional items, and we continually, with new version releases, will add more and more items that you can track in order to get you in the habit of following tracking and the metrics associated. The specific activities will get calculated for you, but this kind of gives you an idea, and I'll show you where you enter in your actual metric data, but it will break it down for you to give you an idea of what your monthly goals need to be in order to attain your financial income goals of $300,000. Specifically for you, even though many of you have worked with a real estate coach, so you have an idea of how many contacts you need to make to set your appointments, to do signed, under contract, and closed. So many of you will have some of this data already. However, if you don't, that's the whole point of the Sisu application, is to generate these conversion ratios for you so you can update them. But based on those goals, you can get an idea that if you make 4,200 contacts during the year, you're going to be able to set so many appointments, which convert to how many signed, under contract, and ultimately closings. But like as mentioned, the nice thing is we break that down for you so you always know what those monthly goals need to be based off of those. Again, you can change them as you can become a little bit more familiar with your conversion ratios, or many of you that have real estate coaches will have an idea of what those numbers need to be. We always take great customer feedback from our customers because we want to always improve the app. So feel free, if you have questions, concerns, or any issues with it, just go ahead and send them to them via the screen. That's the logout screen. Let's go back through to the home screen, and we'll kind of look at the information. Once you start tracking everything, I'll show you a couple different items here. So again, from this home screen, you always see what your gross commissionable income is going to be right from the top, whether it's how much you have under contract to how much you have closed. This is on a monthly view, and I can look at this from a daily view, last week, and then obviously this year. So nice visualizations to give you an idea of contacts, appointments, buyer, broker signed, listing takens, under contracts, and closed. Now the circles are also can be navigated, and it takes you directly to the location. So for example, if I want to go add additional contacts, and let's go back to a today view, I click on contacts, and it brings me right to my record screen. That works with any of those circles. The color denotes a couple of items, whether you're ahead or let's say your percent to plan is greater, you're going to see the orange color, meaning that you've hit your goal or it's higher. A blue color means you're quite a bit lower than 70%. And although we don't see it on the screen, a yellow color means you're between 70 and your goal of 100%. So, or yeah, 70% and above. So you'll have some nice visualizations in order to give you some color indicators as far as where you are and where you need to be. The report screen provides, this is essentially your conversion ratios for you. So from a month view, again, month, year, last week, this year, gives you some great indicators to say how many contacts have you made compared to how many do you need to make, in addition to your conversion ratio from contacts to appointments is kind of low, so you might need to work on some of your scripts. But those conversion ratios are what we're going to calculate for you so that you can be more accountable as well as know what you need to work on. So we can look at that obviously from last week. And then there you can see the additional tracking items that I walked you through as far as additional information to enter. So on your daily level, if you're looking to track all your contacts, to get to that yearly view and those nice visual reports, you have to consistently get in the habit of tracking information. Many users will track it transactionally. Some do put it on a piece of paper and go back and add it. Think of it no different than maybe your, if you use a nutrition app or a fitness app, you always want to get in the habit of using it and entering it at a given time, either transactionally. However, even myself, I might miss a day in my nutrition app, so I will go back and enter in my information from a couple days ago or a day. So I do have the ability to do that. It's real easy to add any information, either transactionally. I can just click on the plus button to increment it up. Or if, for example, you did a big call, you got up in the morning and you time blocked and you made a bunch of calls, I can click right in the number. It pulls up my keypad, and I can type in 99, for example, and then navigate out. Okay. Same thing with appointments. And the nice thing is if you go and you're getting any signings, as soon as I hit the plus sign, it brings me to my opportunity screen. My opportunity screen is like many other sales screens, and be aware, this is not a CRM tool. Our goal is not to be a CRM solution. We're really providing you a way to quickly track your information and generate your conversion ratios and track them for you to provide some ease to get data to get this information in. But we do track, as you can see, we provide a pipeline for you. We provide all the signings. So I basically clicked on sign, so it brought me to the sign screen. And it provides me the ability to add anything under contract, anything under close. But as we are clicking on sign, let's stay in that location. The color indicates, as you can see, there's two different colors there. So if I wanted to add a new signing, well, let's start back from a pipeline and we'll kind of move across that flow. So let's add somebody new to my pipeline. Again, you can see if it is a seller, it is going to be in red. If it is a buyer, it's going to be gray. I believe that color is gray. And let's add a new individual to our pipeline. I'm going to enter in some basic information. The only required information you need to add is a name, a transaction amount, and your essentially what you would calculate as your gross commission. Yep, and a couple finger errors there. So I'm going to enter in a bunch of information here just so I can show you some things. So as you can see down the bottom, I have signing date, under contract date, and settlement date. So once it's in as a pipeline, you can see it's in my pipeline right from here. You can see I've used Mike a couple times. But once I start moving him through my pipeline, I'll show you how it moves through each. The nice thing about this, even though we're not a CRM solution, we want to make it easy to engage with your clients. So from any location, if you see a chat dialog box, a phone dialog box, or an email envelope there, I have the ability to quickly send a text to my client, or I can call directly out of the app, or I can send an email directly out of the Sisu Pro application. So it makes it really nice from that perspective. Now let's move this client through the sales cycle. So once I get a signing date, and we're just going to make every day today just to make it easier, and I'm going to put today's date, and I'm going to hit submit. And you can see it's dropped out of the pipeline stage, and it's moved to the sign stage. Same thing as we take that and move it to the contract date, or the under contract date. I click submit, and it moves to the under contract. Once you get the settlement date, you enter the settlement date and hit submit, and it moves it to a closed, essentially a closed opportunity, moving it right down to the bottom. As you notice down at each one of the bottom of those screens, you get nice visual indicators as far as how much money have you made. We talk to a lot of realtors, surprisingly, they have no idea how much income they've made throughout the year with their commission. We know that that's essentially what you're trying to do, and what we all work hard for is to see how much money you've made at any given time. So it's very important to always convey that gross commissionable income down at the bottom of each one of those pipeline stages, as well as obviously kind of give you some incentive to say, if I close these deals, if I get these houses under contract, that's what my commission is going to be. So we always want to make sure you're achieving the ultimate goal of making more money to get whatever the prize is, whether it's material items or whether it's more freedom in general. So let's go back, and you can see, let's look at some of those other items that I wanted to track. You can see those are down at the bottom. We've already briefly looked at the reports. The next item is the power of the Sisu Pro product in conjunction with the Sisu Team product is once you have the ability to engage with other realtors, whether it's those realtors that's within your brokerage or your small team. But the nice thing is you have the ability to, maybe you have a thought leadership group or another real estate accountability group. You have the ability to create an unlimited number of users or teams that you can invite other Sisu users or get them to use Sisu in order to visualize how they're doing. It's a perfect solution if you have a real estate coach. You could easily just come in and create a new team, and we'll just call it Coach. And we'll just do a motto just for the sake of it. And I can actually invite all my members to participate. So whether it's your accountability buddy, or whether it's just another real estate colleague, or whether it's your real estate coach, I have the ability to immediately invite them and participate in to help me achieve my goals. The important thing to remember, obviously, with any type of goal attainment, it's always going to be more attainable when you make yourself not only accountable to yourself, obviously, but when you can make yourself accountable to others, it's going to increase your odds of goal attainment. So that's essentially why we give you the ability with this version to interact and have accountability buddies and accountability to your real estate coach, is because you will have a higher likelihood of success by being accountable to others. So I'm just going to create that coach. It fires off the email to the coach so that he can accept it. Let's go and look at let's say, for example, my team, this Live Utah team, I get some really powerful information and a nice leaderboard on a mobile app to see how this team is performing. I'm obviously not going to see any gross commissionable income information, but what I am going to see is I'm going to see how much this team has under contract, how much it's closed, what's under contract from a transaction count, how much is closed today, weekly, monthly, yearly, at any given time. So it's some really nice visualizations on a team roll-up perspective. And if I scroll down, I see every individual team member right in this list. So it's extremely powerful to have the motivation to go in and say, well, I wonder how well Brett is doing in comparison to others. So that's pretty powerful from the perspective of accountability, and again, right from the mobile app. If you're using the Sisu Pro or the Sisu Team platform, these visualizations will be on monitors and television displays. But again, as stated, we're going to do a presentation on the Sisu, on that product very soon in the upcoming weeks. So importantly, if you have any questions, if you're a user and you need any assistance in the use of this or any other questions or great feedback, we've received some amazing feedback from our users, and we essentially have iterated and put out product after product releases based on the feedback of our customers. If you are a current customer and you need some assistance at any given time, we're extremely always willing to work with you one-on-one if needed. Typically, we'll recommend you working with your Sisu team administrator and route things that way, but we understand that's not always possible. So let me just show you, because we're at the end of our time here. If you are a user, I always like to show you, you always have the ability to go directly to our website, sisu.co, and the little icon at the far bottom of your screen, either in mobile or on your desktop, if you click on that, you can always have a quick conversation, and we'll route you to a customer service resource in order to address your questions. Again, my name is Frank Felice. I'm pleased to get the opportunity to present to you and walk you through the product, and we hope we can answer questions for you about the product in the future, and happy tracking.